Rejection. It's a universal experience, an unwelcome visitor we all encounter at some point in our lives. It might be the end of a relationship you thought would last forever, a career opportunity slipping through your fingers, or a personal dream that feels just out of reach. And when rejection knocks, it often brings along its companions, self-doubt, pain, and fear. But what if rejection wasn't just an end, but also a beginning? What if instead of crumbling under its weight, you could rise above it, stronger, wiser, and more resilient than before? In today's video, we're turning to the timeless wisdom of Stoicism, a philosophy practiced by ancient thinkers like Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus, to find out how we can not only endure rejection, but embrace it as a path to personal growth. Through 5 transformative Stoic principles, we'll discover how to face rejection with grace, dignity, and the inner strength to keep moving forward. So, take a deep breath, let go of your doubts, and join us as we uncover how rejection can be the catalyst for becoming your most unshakable self. Rejection hurts. It's not just an emotional response, but a deeply ingrained human reaction. From an evolutionary standpoint, rejection triggers fears of isolation and exclusion, which were once critical to our survival. Today, rejection can manifest as a blow to our ego, leaving us with feelings of sadness, anger, or even shame. But while these feelings are natural, they don't have to define us. Stoic philosophy offers tools to shift our perspective and regain control over our emotions. The Stoics taught us to focus on what we can control, our thoughts and actions. They emphasized the importance of acceptance, not as a passive resignation, but as a way to free ourselves from unnecessary suffering. Central to Stoicism is the concept of indifference, which means emotionally detaching from external events and judgments. Let's delve into 5 Stoic principles that can reshape the way you respond to rejection. 1. The obstacle is the way. The first principle of Stoicism reminds us that obstacles, including rejection, are not barriers, but stepping stones to growth. Imagine a climber facing a steep, rocky ascent. Each jagged edge and slippery path isn't a sign to give up. It's part of the journey to the summit. In life, rejection often feels like an impassable wall, but in reality, it's an invitation to adapt and evolve. For example, consider Thomas Edison, who famously failed thousands of times before inventing the light bulb. When asked about his repeated failures, he said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." Edison didn't see rejection or failure as the end. He viewed it as valuable feedback. The key is perspective. Instead of labeling rejection as a personal failure, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I grow stronger because of it? Maybe a relationship that ended teaches you what you truly value in a partner. Perhaps a job rejection encourages you to refine your skills or explore a new path. When you analyze rejection objectively, like a climber studying their route, you'll find that every setback is an opportunity. By focusing on what's within your control, your effort, your attitude, and your actions, you can transform rejection from a dead end into a detour that leads to something greater. 2. Virtue is the only good. The Stoics believed that true value lies within us, not in external validation, achievements, or other people's opinions. Rejection, no matter how painful, does not diminish your worth. Your value is intrinsic, tied to your character and your virtues. Think of a tree in a storm. The wind may strip its leaves or break a branch, but if its roots are strong, it remains steadfast. Similarly, when you anchor yourself in virtues like courage, kindness, and integrity, no rejection can uproot you. Let's take the example of J.K. Rowling, who faced rejection after rejection from publishers before Harry Potter became a global phenomenon. Her perseverance, humility, and dedication to her craft are what carried her through those difficult times. The rejection letters didn't define her, her character did. This principle encourages us to reflect on who we are rather than what we achieve. Are you kind in the face of adversity? Do you show resilience when challenges arise? These are the virtues that matter. Rejection in this context is a test, a chance to prove that your worth isn't tied to someone else's acceptance. A job offer, a romantic relationship, or public recognition is fleeting. But your character, that's eternal. By focusing on becoming the best version of yourself, you'll find that rejection loses its sting. It's not a statement about your value. It's merely an external event. And in the grand scheme of your life, it's your virtues that will stand tall no matter the storm. 3. Control your perceptions. Rejection often feels like a direct blow to our self-worth, but more often than not, it's not about us at all. The Stoics believed in the power of perception, the idea that events themselves are neutral, and it's our interpretation of them that gives them meaning. Imagine you apply for a job you really want and don't get it. Your initial reaction might be to think, "I'm not good enough," or "I'll never succeed." But what if the rejection wasn't about your abilities? Perhaps the company was looking for a different skill set, or maybe the timing just wasn't right. One powerful example comes from the world of sports. Michael Jordan, one of the greatest basketball players of all time, was famously cut from his high school varsity team. Instead of perceiving this rejection as the end of his basketball dreams, he reframed it as motivation to work harder. His perspective turned what could have been a crushing defeat into the fuel for an unparalleled career. The practice of controlling your perception is about challenging negative thoughts and reframing rejection as redirection. For instance, think of a romantic rejection. Instead of dwelling on what you might have done wrong, consider it a blessing in disguise. Perhaps that person wasn't the right fit for you, and now you're free to find someone who truly aligns with your values. One practical way to shift your perspective is through journaling. Write down the rejection and your initial thoughts about it. Then challenge those thoughts. Ask yourself, is this really true? What evidence supports a more positive interpretation? Over time, this habit can transform the way you see setbacks, helping you focus on the bigger picture and reminding you that this moment doesn't define your entire journey. 4. Practice gratitude. When faced with rejection, it's easy to spiral into negativity, focusing solely on what went wrong. But the Stoics remind us of the power of gratitude, a practice that can shift our mindset and build resilience in the face of adversity. Consider Oprah Winfrey's story. Early in her career, she was fired from her job as a television news anchor because she was deemed unfit for TV. Instead of letting that rejection consume her, she later expressed gratitude for it, realizing it led her to the opportunity to host a daytime talk show, what eventually became The Oprah Winfrey Show. Gratitude doesn't mean ignoring your pain, it means balancing it with acknowledgement of the good in your life. For example, if you're rejected after a job interview, take a moment to appreciate the skills you've gained in preparing for it, or the fact that you even had the opportunity to interview. This perspective doesn't erase the sting of rejection, but it helps you see it in context. One practical tool is a gratitude journal. Every evening, write down 3 things you're grateful for, no matter how small. They might include a kind word from a friend, a sunny day, or even the fact that rejection teaches you resilience. Over time, this habit rewires your brain to focus on the positives, making it easier to bounce back from setbacks. Gratitude reminds us that rejection is just one piece of the puzzle. By acknowledging the abundance in your life, you build a stronger, more optimistic foundation, enabling you to face future challenges with courage and hope. 5. Embrace the present moment. The Stoics believed that the present moment is all we truly have. The past is unchangeable, and the future is uncertain. Both exist only in our minds. Rejection, though painful, is not a permanent state. It's just a moment in time, and by anchoring ourselves in the present, we can regain clarity and strength. Think of a surfer navigating a wave. They can't control the waves or predict exactly how they'll break. All they can do is focus on the moment, balancing, adjusting, and riding the wave as it comes. In the same way, when rejection hits, your power lies in how you respond right now. Take the example of Nelson Mandela. After spending 27 years in prison, he emerged not consumed by the injustices of his past, but focused on the present moment and the actions he could take to rebuild South Africa. His ability to anchor himself in the present allowed him to transform immense personal rejection and hardship into a legacy of reconciliation and peace. Practicing mindfulness is a practical way to embrace the present. When you feel the sting of rejection, take a few deep breaths. Pay attention to the rhythm of your breath, the sensation of the air around you, or the sounds in your environment. This practice grounds you, helping you shift your focus from the pain of the past or fears about the future to the here and now. Another way to live in the present is to take immediate, small actions. If you're rejected from a job, update your resume or reach out to a mentor for advice. If a relationship ends, take a walk, call a friend, or write in your journal. These small, intentional actions remind you that life continues and that you have the power to move forward. Rejection is never easy, and it's okay to feel hurt. But with the wisdom of Stoicism, rejection can become a catalyst for growth and transformation. By controlling your perceptions, practicing gratitude, and embracing the present moment, you can find strength, resilience, and even opportunity in the face of setbacks. Remember, rejection is just one chapter in your story. It doesn't define the entire narrative. Every great journey includes moments of difficulty, but these moments are what shape us into who we're meant to be. If this video resonated with you, please like, share, and subscribe for more insights into Stoic philosophy and personal growth. Let's keep building a life of strength, wisdom, and resilience together. And always remember, every setback is a setup for a comeback. Stay strong, stay present, and keep moving forward.